There's something really smart about adding black to a mono white shell that is already very good in this metagame to be even better against decks that run Atraxa and Atali, and that was proven to us by Autumn Burchett's Pro Tour March of the Machine list, where they made top 8 and could have honestly won the whole thing, to be honest. Now, this deck can function because in a mono white build that uses laydown arms and ossification, well, you need a lot of basics and you need a lot of basic planes. So you might be wondering, how can you ever cast a double black spell? Well, I mean, thankfully this is a 7 drop, so it does give you a lot of time to get those black sources, but there is a particular land in Standard that really makes this a lot easier, and that is Obscura Storefront, where, it comes into play, it sacks itself, and you can search for a white source or a black source. I mean, specifically a plains or a swamp. And the thing that's really good about this card is that it has incredible synergy with Sarah Paragon. Now, before we get into it, this is not Autumn's list exactly. I modified it a little bit for ladder since it's totally different format than a tournament. So I added another Sarah Paragon because I really feel like this card is incredible. I do think they were only running 3 actually. I haven't played this list in a little bit, so I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, essentially Sarah Paragon is super good because it allows you to get the land back from the graveyard and play it back down. So essentially, if you draw one, you probably have both of your swamps in play after you draw the Sarah Paragon, and that's really good. Other than that, there's really nothing special about this list other than abusing the card Breach the Multiverse, which has actually really good hits in this deck specifically as well. You can hit Eternal Wanderer, which ends up being basically a pseudo sweeper where you kind of get rid of your entire opponent's board state while getting one of their planeswalkers or creatures on your side of the battlefield. So if you think about it, if you have no board, you play Breach, you get one of their good creatures like Itali or Atraxa, and then you use Eternal Wanderer to sweep their board while you keep your one creature, because Eternal Wanderer, I mean, you have to select one creature for your opponent and one creature for yourself to keep, and the rest get sacked. So it's actually really good in the deck naturally because of Eternal Wanderer, but it's also really good with Sarah Paragon because you can breach the multiverse and it mills a bunch of cards, and then you get Sarah Paragon down, and it allows you to utilize that graveyard to get a lot more value, out of your 3 or less CMC cards. So that's overall just a very good card to have in this deck, and it really functions incredibly well, especially as a punish mechanic to punish Atraxa decks and Itali, as that is pretty obvious, I think. I mean, this card is most certainly for those decks. Anyways, it's really not much special to talk about, I think. I mean, you've seen mono white before. The main deck is just pretty much mono white. Like, there's really nothing special other than the mana base, which I just talked about. Now, another thing that's really good about black in this deck is duress. Mono white usually is going to struggle against counter magic and is actually going to struggle against cards like Fable sometimes because when they're on the draw as mono white, it's actually kind of difficult to deal with the amount of tempo advantage that Fable brings to the table. But with duress, that's less of a problem, and it also plays really well into other Breach the Multiverse decks, or other decks that are really trying to do broken things with non-creature spells. So having duress in a mono white deck is really, really, really good. Surge of Salvation has been incredible, obviously, and that's no secret. These days, this card has just been dominating some matches, and it will continue to do so, I think, because really there's almost no bad situation where you're holding a Surge of Salvation and you feel like you shouldn't be holding it, or it should be a different card. It's always going to be useful at some point in the game. Now, you probably don't want like 4 copies, but if you're holding one, it's usually totally fine. Another black card that's really good is Shieldred's Edict. Now, mono white has kind of bad planeswalker interaction. What I mean by that is that ossification does hit planeswalkers, but planeswalkers are permanents that enter the battlefield and kind of do something immediately. So you're answering them, but the danger is that this is a very vulnerable permanent, as we have cards like Loran, and we have cards like Invoke Despair as well, that can interact with enchantments very favorably. So there is still that risk factor of giving them back a potential planeswalker that is a baseline very difficult to deal with for mono white. So giving them the planeswalker back and them getting value out of it again is really dangerous. So Shieldred's Edict really allows you to get through all those problems by just, forcing them to sack the planeswalker. Another thing that I've added personally that I've really not used yet, it was pretty much there to kind of be a card I want to bring in against Atraxa decks and Itali decks, and I have unfortunately never been able to use it. But theoretically, Kaya is a fantastic spell that will allow you to exile your opponent's big creature, like Itali and Atraxa, and you will get a copy of it, and that copy enters the battlefield, so it replicates those effects, and that's really, really, really strong. And also it has like really good drain effects, as it has hexproof. It's really difficult to deal with, so you can potentially just, destroy your opponent by dealing some direct damage and gaining life. So it's just a pretty good card. It is very expensive though, but again, we're trying to mostly cheat it out with Breach the Multiverse, or hardcast it against Italia Traxa decks. But that's really all there's to it. It's not a revolutionary deck really, but it is a very smart idea that hasn't really been explored before, I think. So that's what it is, and I hope you enjoy the matches. I don't know if you can mulligan a 3-lander in mono white, because only 24 lands. Like the privilege of having mana is not something to take lightly. Especially being 1 mana off of this, and most of my deck being 3 and less, I would say. And 6 of those cards find me more lands. Bankbuster finds me at least a card and most likely a land. But I do think having Breach in the deck is pretty smart. But I still have to wonder if Cruelty is not better than Breach. Just because Cruelty also fetches you specific spell. So you can like search for your 1 Sunfall. You could search for like, maybe you play 1 Breach, 1 Cruelty. You can search for your Breach. Search for an answer for something. It's a little easier to find good creatures off of the Breach though. Offline. This is a okay matchup. Actually, there is one thing that's missing from this deck, and that's Farewell. Kind of forgot. I just assume people play Farewell, but that's not always the case. Yeah, I have to be mana efficient here, and I think they have a protection spell. I could have checked, but yeah, now they obviously have a protection spell, right? Not much, not many mind games going on here with the auto stop. So taking the trade is probably something I have to do. I can't really let them get the toxic. People still play poison? I don't know. I guess so, but not at high rank. This is like a low rank thing. Is there no ban announcement? Don't ask me, I have no clue. I do not know. Three toxic. I mean, 3 poison counters, so what can they do with this? Ah, they can do Seed Core. That is a little bit annoying. Especially because for some reason I do not have remotely anything to play. I guess I have this, but Storefront being... I feel like this deck wants like 2 or 3 Field of Ruin. Like, I don't mind Storefront, but it's kind of awkward with Perion. Because the land comes in tapped, and that's really bad for tempo. And like, I can't even replay it immediately anyway, so I'm just kind of down a mana. But it is the most reliable... Is it though? I feel like Field of Ruin getting you an untapped black source is actually sometimes even more relevant. Like, this is not a top deck black source. You know what I mean? Like, this is like a setup black source. Way different. Like, if I had a Field of Ruin, I guess here wouldn't change much because I would need the second black.
that way as well. Like, couldn't they have destroyed this? I guess they just don't care. Fable will not rotate out. That's the entire problem. Alright, I need like Wander, something along those lines. Like the actual Wander or Sunfall. Oh, they didn't seed. That's pretty good. This matchup used to be really good until until this deck just not doesn't have access to freaking Farewell and any sweepers for that matter. I will get Breach next turn. Maybe, I guess this has a high likelihood of finding me a Wander. Oh, this gets exiled now, right? You can't like infinite, yeah. Oh, it gains you 3 life. That is interesting. Okay. The Storefront definitely has some value against aggro decks because it will be gaining you a total 4 life with Sarah Paragon, which is actually very, very good. Is it banned yet? Nope. Nothing is banned yet. What do I think of the standard change? I think it's bad. My first impression was that it would be bad. My gut feeling was that it would be bad without like doing any research or anything. Then I saw a bunch of opinions of other players like justifying why they think it's going to be bad, and I vastly mostly agree with those. So I can't really see many positive things other than the main argument being there's basically one argument. The main argument is that mechanics will, or they're saying that cards will balance out other overpowered cards over time because of the larger set count. So people are basically saying that there's going to be an answer for Fable, which is probably not true. So that they're saying they won't do bans and the meta will sort itself out, essentially, is what I've been seeing. Which is probably not going to happen, but who knows. Oh, that's actually not bad. So yeah, that's actually pretty good. I get a 4/4, and then I get this thing. And I also fuel my graveyard. Okay. There are multiple things that I have not considered with the card Breach. Oh, and I also get, this is interesting. Very interesting. So I didn't consider that milling yourself is worth a lot more with Sarah Paragon in the deck. Which is why I was surprised that there wasn't 4 copies of Sarah Paragon when it's probably the best card in the deck.
I have got new moves to teach you.
I think it's better for paper Magic. Yeah, a lot of people, I've been seeing a few people saying like this is really, really good for paper Magic, and I guess so. I don't know. I don't know much about paper Magic, so if they're saying it, it must be true, at least for them subjectively, which probably, I mean, it probably is true, right? Like for people who are playing paper and they're saying this is good for me, like they know that it's more accessible. I've seen the soldiers list. Yep. I think the soldier list is fine. But it's not like super good against Grixis and Rakdos. I think that's the main issue. It's gonna farm like everything else, but Nathan said it was like a really easy matchup. I think it's favored for Rakdos / Grixis, but it depends on the list, obviously. All right, what is happening here exactly? Are they gonna let me play or? I mean, they have a ton of life because of the life blink on the scroll side. I guess I should draw, right? Maybe I find something useful. Like that. That will allow me to... Is farmhand back? Alright, give me... Can we get bullet magic, please?
Your blades
Like,
strike true.
10-second timer. Also, another upside is that mono white has a problem with flooding sometimes, and having access to Rafine's tower is definitely helpful. The soldier deck should be good on ladder. Not as it is, but soldiers are good on ladder, yeah. I think that list was specifically for tournaments, but if you tune it a little bit, it can definitely be good on ladder. Yeah, soldiers got Invasion of Gabakhan, which is crazy. Like, it's probably the best in that deck. Well, Breach the Multiverse, not exactly what I want to be using against Toxic, which will either kill me on turn 5 or I'm gonna win anyways on turn 5, so... I mean, I guess you... Can you lose on turn 4? I don't think so. I mean, unless you draw, like, really terribly, which is possible. I could definitely see cutting... No, I don't think I want to cut my early game. I think it's a mistake. If I had to guess, I would probably cut the Eternal. The black-white deck is good. Maybe we don't need to ban Fable, Shield Red, and Invoke. That's not a great way to justify not banning cards. If there's a deck that beats some broken cards, that doesn't mean the broken cards are less broken. Because usually these decks that beat those cards have major downsides to them. It's still, like, it's from a... Banning cards should never be about, oh, you can build X deck that beats this, so we shouldn't ban. Banning cards should be to open up enough for, like, open up deck building to a lot more variety of decks. Like, that's the main reason to ban cards. It's to open up deck building and introduce some more variety to the metagame instead of being like, oh, this is the only deck you can play because it beats those cards. Instead, you remove those cards and then suddenly you can play like 3 or 4 more decks, you know? Yeah, that's a pretty good opening hand. At least it's not, yeah, at least it's not the 1-2, the Rot Priest. Still not a great situation for me. Being on the draw, no sweeper in hand, no enchantment interaction, and I'm facing down Contaminator. Alright, this is really scary if they have a protection spell. Because then I have no way to ever kill this unless I find Sunfall. Oh. They want to proliferate a wedding announcement? I mean, that is a double-edged sword, I think. I would say that's a mistake, but maybe they have a master plan of some sort. Alright, if this gets protected, which it will, yeah, they have a stop, so. Well, it is what it is. I have one more opportunity to find Sunfall, otherwise it's game over. Do I think the Soldier's 2-drop coming out tomorrow is worth using? I don't even know what it is, so. With the ward and +1 to attack. I don't know what that card is. Wait, so are we getting another standard set basically? I didn't even know it was coming tomorrow. Like I didn't even know it was coming at all. Why is it why is that a thing? I don't know. I don't know. More money, I guess. Thought Aftermath was delayed. Is it? It's 50 cards? 50 cards is a lot. It's surprising. Hey, maybe it... I don't know. Will those cards affect the meta? I don't know.
I'm never done for good. Keep watch for intruders.
Anything that gets added to soldiers could be good. I can look up the card. It's actually good. Humans aren't soldiers, right? Humans aren't all soldiers. But I think that card is pretty good. If all soldiers are human, then that card is good. But if that's not the case, I would say it's not good. And does it say all other humans, or does it count itself? If it counts itself, it's definitely better than if it doesn't. Set review? I don't know if I'm gonna do a set review. It's kind of... I guess I could, yeah. Sure. Oh yeah, each other human? I don't know about it then. I don't know. Should I do a set review? My set reviews just don't get any views. It doesn't feel like it's really worth doing most of the time. I'm just gonna take out a bunch of lands and hope for the best. I'm dead on board. Oh yeah, true. Yeah. Wasn't really paying attention. Too busy reading chat. Yeah, that was just a waste of time. Yeah, just losing to Scroll Hive, even though I have 5 answers for it, and I have 2 Sunfall as well. I did find a single spot removal spell for this as well. Or most likely I would have targeted Skrelv, right? Oh, they just had to protect the spell. I mean, curving out a 3-drop with me having a 4-drop answer on the draw is not going to work out for me. I was toxic in best of 3. It's not good. I mean, when I say, every time I say not good, you should always assume that I'm saying it's like mid, like very bottom tier 2, basically. Or tier 3, I don't know. It got worse for sure. People are playing Italy now, like the speed can't really match up. Got new sweepers too. This thing is annoying. Yeah, I don't know about that ward soldier. Maybe it is good. I don't know. It's a card that competes with a lot of other 2-drops, so I don't know, I don't think it's strong enough. I don't think soldiers care too much about getting more attack necessarily. Unless they go like super wide. I don't know. Oh, Rumty's back. Rumty, Rumty, Rumty. Maybe mono green is back. I know Rin's been playing some mono green. Soldiers might want indestructible for board. Damn, charge of lights is pretty annoying. I guess I have to sweep. It's not optimal at all. When do you take invasion out? For in what deck? Damn, it is storming outside. Holy. Oh, the Gobakon invasion? Who sold for soldiers? I don't know, I haven't played with it in soldiers. I would assume you'd never take it out, but not 100% sure. Wait, this deck just runs through basic lands like it's candy. What the? I only have 3 left. What is happening? Storming here also? Yeah, it's getting pretty. Jeez. Internet might cut out, huh? Never know. This Autumn's list? Autumn's list slightly modified for ladder, yeah. They're trying to bait me. Trying to bait me into block. Thunderino. Lightning bolt. Oh no. Dude, Mother Nature is a mono red player, not a green player after all. Jeez. Oh my god, I have one more land. This can't be worth it. Like, nothing is worth it here. I guess this is fine. I just wait for them to make a huge board, and then well, I also have to get rid of my own stuff, but whatever. You can go this into this. Oh, now it's a little bit bigger, huh? That is annoying. So I can get restoration back, but I only have one basic left. Might as well just get reliquary back then. Could also get the farmhand back just to have creatures. Yeah, Rent is playing mono green. I saw him tweet at some point that he was doing pretty well. I don't really know. Are they playing farewell? Like, I don't really know why they would, yeah, why they would keep playing this match. It seems like really doomed here at this point. I have 6 cards, I guess, and way better board state. Yeah, figured I couldn't cut the farmhand. Breach card style 92% off. Still a scam. I'm done with card styles. Like, I'm past that phase. I'm the type of player that used to always buy skins when they were on sale in like any game. Can't do that anymore. Like, I don't know. I started realizing it's just such a waste. Unless it's a game where you play one thing over and over and over again. Like if it's a game where you play your character pretty much nonstop, then sure. It's worth 375. That's how they get you. Worth literally nothing. Just like everything, I guess. Well, no, because you can actually do stuff with the card, but you can't do anything with the card style. This should... Your eyes... It's pleasant for your eyes, I guess. Your brain likes it. Maybe if maybe if skins or card styles like reduce the mana cost of the card by like 1, then I would buy it. This is such a weird game. I'm surprised that I'm playing as Rakdos and they didn't have a 2-drop, they didn't have a 3-drop, and their 4-drop is a channel land. What is happening? I don't know. How do they win this game? Oh, they might be playing Reanimator. They can win if they're playing Reanimator, yeah. Sure. Certainly a possibility. But I guess I will also be able to do things. I guess I might as well play that then.
Try to best me, if you can.
I'll go for a Samurai. I think it's fine.
Keep your eyes sharp.
I was gonna minus, but then if they're smart, I mean it depends. The minus here only works against bad players. Because I know they have a removal spell, right? So if they have a removal spell and they target their own token and I minus, then they get to keep the Graveyard Trespasser, and then I'm kind of screwed. Yeah, it wouldn't be too good. But I did want this card in the graveyard, which is the reason I played it out for very low value. Okay, they didn't grab it as planned. Interesting. Well, this time I can minus, right? But I could also just make it 2. Why would I minus? What, am I delusional? Why would I
We can
minus
win
there?
this together.
There's no like this trespasser doesn't really represent much. They better have a removal spell. Nope. Looking good. It's looking real good.
Kneel before the Emperor of Kamigawa.
Now they probably regret channeling that land. Or not, like, getting rid of the token. Okay. That was pretty cool. Breach. But I mean, this was kind of like a non-game. They literally didn't play the game for like 4 turns. So... Okay. Now here's something that I will have to get used to is how do you sideboard with this deck? I didn't really watch many of Autumn's matches against Rakdos because there are so many cards that you want to play. I'm pretty sure you don't want to play this because they have duress. A little bit slow. But since now I have this, and then potentially this, like that's a lot of cards I want to bring in, and not much I can actually cut. Because I also want to bring this in. I'm assuming I would want to cut Eternal Wanderer if, like, maybe entirely. Especially on the draw, but like I'm so far I'm so far from 60. Even if I cut that's why I'm skeptical about duress itself. Like I feel like this is a good counter for Rakdos. Duress helps, but as a top deck it's not gonna be that good. It's really good against Rixus though. But against Rakdos a little bit less. They don't really carry around that many cards. Or you'll hit a removal spell, but removal spells aren't that impactful. Or maybe you're just not supposed to play this. Oh man, I don't know. I could see on the draw no farmhand. Like I can see it, but it's risky. Cutting Sarah Paragon, sure. I can maybe cut one Sarah Paragon. I don't think you want to cut too many because I cut so much top end already. And Sarah Paragon is insane with invasion. But I guess it's my fault because I added another invasion. So I have like an extra card that I want to bring in. Maybe it wasn't necessary in the first place. Archangel Wrath? I cut Archangel Wrath. It's not good without red. I don't like having a card that is basically only there for aggro. When aggro is not really a thing. If there was red in this deck, I would change my mind though, because then it becomes an effective removal spell for planeswalkers as well, and it can also remove Fable and other things. Jesus, okay. Well, whoever finds lands wins. That's all this is gonna come down to. And there's one of them. A little bit late. Jesus, okay. Well, that's scary. I need a land. Alright, GG. Found land and I found Fable Bankbuster, which is pretty much exactly what they wanted. I have no removal for Shieldred. Kept everything, which is good. In that case, they should get punished if they don't find land. Okay. So they greeded so hard. Like, all they had to do there was ditch 2 cards and find land, and I auto-lose, but they greeded. They kept everything because they're all good cards, and now they gave me an opportunity to eventually stabilize this, but we're still not in a good spot. I don't have. I can get back Bank Buster, which I probably will do. Oh. I think I have to remove a shoulder then. So get Bank Buster back. Follow him.
Anyone who harms my people must contend with.
I don't know how I'm gonna deal with Chandra. I guess that's why there's Duress. Duress is probably mainly for this card. Like, Mono White can't really deal with this. Surge is pretty good against Chandra, but it's not that good. Depends. In minus, it's good. If they plus into Go for the Throat, whatever. Yeah, they had one opportunity to cast Invoke, but they couldn't do it because they didn't discard their lands.
Oh, boo
Harvester's a really good draw. Okay, that's really good. Extremely clutch. But I'm still gonna have to deal with Chandra. Kinda need Duress now. Or Invasion. Actually, I do have 6 cards total that I can do stuff. It is what it is. Just to get a card out of it. And at least they're not activating Deckbuster. I'm gonna pray that they actually find a land here. Ah. Alright, I'm screwed. I really needed them to find a land. Alright, now I have to top deck Duress. Like, I'm in a position where I have to use it, so Duress, Invasion. I can kind of play around Invoke by playing Wedding Announcement. But Chandra is a problem. Get back Bank Buster. I mean, I guess they can do... Nah, I'm screwed. Yeah, I'm just screwed. They got lucky. They didn't play it well, but yeah. Top decks were a little bit too strong, I think.
I will burn fire
I feel like they should have just invoked there. Unless they're going for double, but that's risky because then I could find the ossification.
You're toast.
Hmm. Not a very good game for me. Hey, Bun Fun. This is where I wish the... I don't know, I had a fourth ossification while I was trying to build the sideboard out again, but I guess this took the spot for ossification. So kind of memeing. Yeah, I shouldn't be playing this. Like, there's no reason to. I should just be playing another ossification. It's too important. People are playing Chandra now. Having access to another enchantment-based removal spell is just good. Especially one that hits planeswalkers. Same situation as last game. If I don't find land 3... No, there's no ban announcement yet. So the issue is I have to cut, like, I felt like I had to cut the farmhand post board, but then I find myself in this situation every time, and I guess it's maybe farmhand over restoration. I don't know. Okay, if you find it, restoration is always better. Jeez, man, how? It's so hard to deal with like multiple fables. Thankfully, I have the answer. Okay, that's good. I was gonna say if I have the answer, but it screws my curve so hard. They have the same. We're basically keeping the same hands, except this time I'm out of the screw immediately, and I have a decent curve. Okay, they're out of the screw as well. I could just do a double wedding announcement. Probably better. I don't think drawing does that much. I'm too off of lay anyways. Hopefully they don't find land. If they do, I think double wedding announcement could beat it anyways. No, there's no ban announcement. That's good. That gets me the planes. Yeah, this is a ban waiting room. Exactly, yeah. I like that this gets out of range of bolts. All right.
If you enjoy my content and would like to help me keep making it, consider supporting me over on Patreon, where you're going to access to a bunch of bonus videos, as well as other rewards depending on the tiers. And thank you so much to all the lovely patrons that are already subscribed. I appreciate it very much. And I will see you all in the next video.